Welcome to the Inspiring You Show. If we've met, I'm Henry. My friends, we are going to talk about the December energy forecast, theme number 6, which is shedding old energy and embracing a new chapter of growth. Before we get to that, though, let's just take a moment of mindfulness and invite Reiki energy healing in if you wish to receive. So, with that, find a comfortable seat, my friends. Soften your gaze. Hello, close your eyes if you wish to. And then take a nice, slow, intentional breath. Whew, y'all. It has been a year. Take another breath. Whew. Let any tension in your body dissolve as you settle into this present moment. And let's take one more. And we're going to invite Reiki energy healing in. If you wish to receive Reiki, say, yes, I'd like to receive Reiki for my highest good. And if you don't, that's okay. You can still listen to this mindfulness chat. All right. With that, my friends, we are going to explore the 6th theme of the December energy forecast. There are 10 themes, 1 out of 10 themes, offering them in small, more digestible pieces, portions, allowing you to integrate each insight in a meaningful pace. So for the full picture, though, you can head to the previous episodes, either on my podcast or on YouTube, where I am basically they're either broken up or you can listen to the entire thing at once. You'll find it there in the previous episodes. But for now, we are going to immerse ourselves in this theme number 6 and its guidance. So this theme is shedding old energy and embracing a new chapter of growth. So really releasing the weight of the past to move forward unburdened. And y'all, I just have to say, yeah, this month we're in that release and renewal and also being called to rest and recalibrate. So it is definitely later than I expected to even get on here to do this episode. But it's because I have just needed more rest time. And I still can feel, I was really excited to do this talk, but my human is in the process of recalibrating, and there has been a lot of cosmic energy activity, and I can tell just from how I feel, how the higher light is acclimating into my body. So with that though, that's the beauty about humaning. We are in this multidimensional experience. And so let's explore this theme, and also just know, wherever you are in the process, just be kind to yourself and be compassionate and just keep using the tools. So this month's energy is really encouraging us to have a profound internal surrender. A profound internal surrender. It is about shedding outdated emotions or processing the emotions, downloading the wisdom, letting go of outdated storylines, patterns, programs, beliefs, energetic patterns. Over time, we can accumulate layers of old energy, loss and grief, anger, sadness, or a sense of injustice, or even other things as well that can really weigh heavily on our hearts. And it may have felt like recent weeks brought these emotions rushing to the surface, seemingly out of nowhere. Yet, my friends, this is no accident. These releases are guided by your future self, by your higher self soul, the part of you that knows liberation and lightness lies just beyond your current comfort zone. So, with that, then, in a world that can be filled with external triggers, personal experiences, global upheavals, collective unrest, it is normal to feel overwhelmed. And you might have found yourself grappling with loss and grief, anger, or despair as you reflect on both personal and global circumstances. While these emotions can feel heavy and sometimes feel unfair, with that, though, they may be bringing in wisdom. They may be calling attention to where you are in an experience. They may be calling in an experience to also come to completion. So that's why you want to learn to work with your emotions and not create that they are enemy of the state. What can also They can also be bringing in emotions as like reframing them as signposts, not burdens. So looking at emotions as reframing them as intuitive helpers, that they're there to support you. They're there to help you bring awareness. So reframing them as signposts, not as burdens. Emotions are here to show you and help you to understand and distinguish what is no longer supporting you. And I know we say this often, but we're here to learn, grow, and evolve. And so really changing our relationship with understanding what no longer supports us. And it's not right, wrong, good or bad. There's an isness. We're here to learn, grow, and evolve. We are constantly in an evolving state. So emotions are here then to show you what no longer supports you, urging you to clear the way for a more expansive reality. If you are wondering why those intentions haven't manifested, if you are wanting to change your life, it starts with you. You can't ditto your way into intentions manifesting. If there's some sort of block on an intention, or if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and not actually learning, then how is that intention going to manifest if you are in the same experience again and again and again, like Groundhog's Day, the movie, where you're basically living the same day until you really learn? So, with that, then, it's really, excuse me, I'm just going to go with that, people. Excuse me on that one. It's all good. Ah, see, we're here to learn, grow, and evolve and to surrender to the experience. And I'm going to keep that in there because this is part of being human and it's not perfect. And that is it. It kind of goes with the theme. How to support release and growth. That was a release. The sneeze was a release. My my maternal grandmother would say, sneezing on the truth. Sneezing on the truth. So that one's for you, Meme. Okay, so my friends, these emotions then, how they're here to work with you. They're here to clear for expansive reality. And so if you are wanting a different reality, yet you have an unwillingness to process, like, okay, what is, why do I keep ending up in the same storyline? Well, if you end up in the same storyline again and again and again, the common denominator, friends, and I say this with love and kindness and compassion, the common denominator is you. You are the common denominator. So it's about looking at it then, how can I learn, grow, and evolve? And am I actually using tools to actually practice the wisdom that I'm learning? Or am I just doing the same thing again and again and expecting different results? If you keep doing that, then you're just going to get the same results because you're basically in the same storyline with the universe in regard to whatever it is you're trying to call in to manifest. That's why it's about processing. And then from that processing, downloading the wisdom and then applying that knowledge. So, are you applying the knowledge? And I know it can be so challenging at times. This week, I've been actually started. last week, the week before, I don't know. This December has it's only December 16th, and I feel like it has been already a long month. Um, but I started making sourdough bread again and doing the whole if you make sourdough bread, you do the starter and you gotta feed the starter. And as I've been doing this, it's just really interesting because my first sourdough starter came out it was terrible, like super, super dense, just not usable. And it reminded me of like when I first started, my first time doing making sourdough. I took a class. It was during the pandemic and it was online. And there was a great chef that, walked us through the process. And it was really great. My bread came out great. And then I made it again and didn't come out so it came out okay. And then the next time I made it, it was like, it was a little dense. And so I've been making it here and there, but not really fully in practice. And so this time, I don't know, something shifted where I was like, okay, I'm going to make sourdough again. And so my first starter was just tragic. It just was not usable. And so I was like, okay, I could either give up or I could learn from my mistakes. I could really learn from my mistakes and really understand how it works. And so I just settled in where I rolled up my sleeves. I'm like, okay, how do I do this? And so to make it easier on myself, I went and actually got some starter from a bakery and then I started the process of feeding it and eventually making the bread. And I made it yesterday, and it came out. It came out pretty good. And I gave it to some of my neighbors. And is it perfect? No, it's not. I mean, it's I have to work on a few things. And I was listening to a book on it earlier. And so my point of sharing about the sourdough bread is that y'all it just takes sometimes in the physical world time and patience to apply knowledge and also not giving up. And so you can set intentions and co-create, you're co-creating with the universe. But we also live in a physical world. And so if you're not showing up any differently than you did the previous days, even though you stated new intentions, the universe is going to go off of what your actual actions are that has a frequency. And so if your actions or lack of actions in terms of lack of applying knowledge is the same and you're staying stuck in the same storyline, or there's some sort of sabotage storyline where you're saying you want something but you really doubt that it's going to happen, then the universe is going to pull from whatever's the strongest frequency. And so, and even if you're trying to will it in, force it in, it doesn't mean that if it does come in, that's going to be your happily ever after. And that's why this theme is so important, because it is about shedding and releasing old energy. It is about surrendering. And a lot of times the surrendering can mean surrendering any kind of ego point where you're trying to have control over something because you think that that's the best way, but meanwhile, you don't have a bird's eye view. The universe has the bird's eye view. Your higher self soul, your guide team does. And you are working in a cooperative team essentially. But if you're just trying to, wham it in and trying to force it in out of like fear or lack or suffering because you don't have it, and you're in competitiveness or comparison with others that other people have it and I just want it, then you just want to check yourself and see really what's going on and what's being called to heal, because that hurt and that pain, if you don't actually take time to heal that, then you're going to call in something out of hurt and pain and desperation and loneliness and sadness and fear and anxiety, which then when you call it in and manifest it, or you're going to block it out of sabotage and it's just going to be in a low vibration. So, with it, then, in terms of surrendering is just letting go of the expectations of trying to will something in and force something in into the feet from the future, and surrendering in this moment and processing the emotions and just letting go, where you're working with yourself to support the release and growth, and acknowledging also without judgment, without, you know, without any kind of, punishment to self, where you're really utilizing love, care, kindness, compassion for self. And then when difficult emotions are arising, instead of labeling them as good or bad, or being really upset, if you feel upset, simply noticing them, acknowledging their presence. I see you, grief. I feel you, anger. I see you, grief. I feel you, anger. By using mindfulness, by labeling, by naming the feeling, you bring it out of the shadows. By using the mindfulness technique of naming the feeling, you bring it out of the shadows. This simple act can help you release your resistance and begin the process of letting it go. Letting the emotion go to process and download the wisdom to complete. The emotions, a lot of times emotions, it's only, I think there has been studies done, it's like 90 seconds. But what keeps them in play is the mental fortitude of the story that we're looping. And then it goes round and round the merry-go-round. And next thing you know, the emotions are in extended play. And then next thing you know, they're getting even more velocity and speed. And it's even more so. And then, whoo, that's where then it could, and if you're just in the present moment, it could create all kinds of scenarios. But then also, you have to also remember with emotions, you could be connecting to emotions from past lives, or it also could be from maternal lineages, it could be stuff from the collective. So that's why, too, it's like, I see you, grief, I feel you, anger. And then eventually I ask myself, all right, is this just present life, or is this something from past life? Past life emotional energy feels different. It usually feels like so much stronger, and it could be connecting to a trigger in this present life, but it sometimes can feel so much stronger, like a tidal wave energy. And then a lot of times um, connecting to collective emotions feel different as well. And then also ancestral energy, like emotions feel different. So when you start to discern the differences, it just helps, because then you remember, oh, I'm multidimensional. I'm in an experience of interconnectedness. A lot of times people are just so caught in, they think it's just them, and not realizing that it could be a multidimensional experience that they're having, which then just allows you to process more. Within all of this, then, inviting compassion for yourself is a big part, because emotions like grief or anger can feel really unjust. But remember, you're not to blame for their existence. They are a part of a natural cleansing or completion or honoring. When you're going through loss and grief, if you've lost a loved one, a lot of times it's like you're honoring also the experience that you had with them, and you're the mourning the loss in the physical world coming into completion. My dad died back in 2020, and I remember when I came home from I grew up in New England and Massachusetts, and when I came back from Massachusetts to California, I remember I was like, I'm going to just take off some weeks here, because in my relationship and understanding of grief can be a very multi-layered emotion, and it can be very heavy at times. And when you're in that experience as somebody who channels and does energy work, you have to be able to be grounded, aligned, and shift into a high vibrational frequency and make yourself in a clear channel. And when you're in a human experience of processing loss and grief, it can be really challenging because you are processing it. And so I understood from my experience of loss and grief that I needed time to process, and then I also needed time to honor my dad and my relationship with my dad and the memories. And so I took, maybe like, I don't know if it was 2 or 3 weeks, and just, went through a lot of different waves. And then over the years, there has just been pockets of moments. And that's can be what it's like, because you might be able to process some of it at some time, but then, more of it comes up, and it's not right, wrong, good or bad. It's the isness. And so having a different relationship with your emotions can really support your present self and also your future self. So again, you know, offering yourself compassion as you are processing emotions like anger, grief, sadness, anxiety. And with that, I do coaching for myself all the time. I do a little cheerleading pep talk sometimes when I need it. I do inspiring coaching when I need it. And in offering compassion to yourself by saying things like, I'm doing the best that I can. And my future self appreciates this release. My future self appreciates me taking this moment. And this kind of tender, compassionate self-talk soothes the inner turmoil and creates a gentler pathway through the discomfort. And it allows your spirit of your human to feel safe, to feel okay, because otherwise your spirit of your human can get really and I say spirit of your human, which is different than your actual multidimensional soul. Your human has a spirit to it that's different than your multidimensional soul. And I know you're like, "Wait, what?" That's right. There's like an energy to the spirit, the energy to the human, like a spirit to the human, if you will. Sort of like, and so anyway, that's, kind of related to the heart, if you will, if you want to look at that way. And so you want to then be tender to your human and kind to your human, and just imagine like your higher self soul talking to your human using, just compassionate words of encouragement to support you and make you feel safe to process. And then when you feel intense emotions, consider how it might feel to let them pass through you rather than holding them back, allowing instead of resisting. So when you feel intense emotions, consider how it might feel to let them pass through you. Emotions, they want to motion through you. Let them pass through you rather than holding them back, allowing instead of resisting. Imagine that they are waves washing over you and then receding. And as you surrender to the flow, you free up stagnant energy, clearing space for something brighter and more aligned to enter. Because once something clears, there's space so you can fill light in, and that's when you can have greater shifts. So, physical and energetic support then. Sometimes releasing old energy can leave you feeling tired. Y'all, that's where I am. Whew, it has been huge, huge clearing for me this last like week or so. And even though I do this work daily in terms of energy work, it doesn't mean in my human experience that I don't have things that I've like back pocketed until now when it's coming up. And so sometimes when you're releasing old energy, it just can leave you feeling tired because you need more time to rest, to clear and recalibrate, and allowing yourself to shift. So treat yourself kindly during this time. Practice, you doing energy work, grounding exercises, meditation, walking barefoot on the earth, breathing deeply, stretching, moving your body gently, engaging in energy clearing practices, anything else like breath work or even yoga, anything like that to help recalibrate and restore balance. Okay, here are some journal questions to utilize and support in terms of integration in connection to this theme. Okay, and you can always pause. I am going to at some point put them in the show notes, but you can always pause, write them down, or answer them and then pause and then go on to the next one. Okay, here they are. What old stories, beliefs, or emotions am I currently carrying that feel heavy or outdated? What old stories, beliefs, or emotions am I currently carrying that feel heavy or outdated? In moments of emotional intensity, how can I remind myself that this release supports my future well being? In moments of emotional intensity, how can I remind myself that this release supports my future well being? Where do I feel resistance in my life? Areas where I'm hesitant to let go, and what might lie on the other side of that resistance? Where do I feel resistance in my life? Areas where I'm hesitant to let go, and what might lie on the other side of that resistance? How can I cultivate more compassion for myself as I navigate these emotional waves? How can I cultivate more compassion for myself as I navigate these emotional waves? If I envision a lighter, more aligned version of myself emerging, what would that feel like? If I envision a lighter, more aligned version of myself emerging, what would that feel like? And how do I sense the collective release happening on a global scale? How do I sense the collective release happening on a global scale? And how can I contribute to it by honoring my own inner work? And how can I contribute to it by honoring my own inner work? And then let yourself take some time to journal, write from the heart. Let these questions guide you toward clarity and understanding as you move through this transitional phase. And then here are some intentions that are also affirmations, if you wish to use them like that, for December's release and new growth. And you can repeat these after me if they resonate. You can also write them down in your journal. You can also use them to support retraining the brain in regard to affirmations. And I also did send Reiki to them. So if you wish to receive Reiki anytime that you do say them or write them down, you can let yourself receive that Reiki boost with them for the highest good. And just remember, Reiki always respects free will. So if you don't want to receive it, that's okay as well. You still can use them. All right, here we go. I intend to release old emotions and beliefs that no longer support my highest potential. I intend to release old emotions and beliefs that no longer support my highest potential. I choose to see emotional intensity as a signal that my future self is guiding me toward liberation. I choose to see emotional intensity as a signal that my future self is guiding me toward liberation. I commit to allowing painful emotions to move through me, downloading the wisdom, completing the process, and trusting this process leads to greater lightness and clarity. I commit to allowing painful emotions to move through me, downloading the wisdom, completing the process of the emotion cycle, trusting this process leads to greater lightness and clarity. I will offer myself compassion and patience as I navigate this release, knowing it paves the way for my growth and expansion. I will offer myself compassion and patience as I navigate this release, knowing it paves the way for growth and expansion. I trust that my personal clearing contributes to the collective transformation unfolding in the world. I trust that my personal clearing contributes to the collective transformation unfolding in the world. I trust that my personal clearing contributes to the collective transformation unfolding in the world. And so, with that, my friends, with these intentions, affirmations, you can repeat them silently out loud. You can write them down. You can also, if you're a Reiki practitioner, you can write them down, write up more, and then you can Reiki them as well yourself. But basically, letting each one settle gently into your being. And over time, they become, touchstones of comfort and direction. So, with that, then let's look at, as you release, know that this process does mirror the global shedding of outdated patterns. So, we're looking at the energetic connection and the global transformation. Human, Humanity is recalibrating, and while resistance, conflict, and discomfort may surface, these collective contractions ultimately give birth to new possibilities. I'm going to repeat that. Humanity is recalibrating. And while resistance, conflict, and discomfort may surface, these collective contractions ultimately give birth to new possibilities. By doing your inner work, you become part of this worldwide shift, helping to create a more harmonious and conscious future. All right, so then let's just connect with the energy theme connection. In regard to the astrological influences, y'all, I mean, it's the new moons, it's the full moon, it's, Pluto and Aquarius. It's quite a bit. Solstice. So just know there's many things in terms of the astrological influences right now with this theme. And then in terms of the energy theme connection, this theme underscores the importance of emotional release as a gateway to growth. And by emotional release, it's really downloading the wisdom, letting the emotion come into completion, and then it is then completed and cleared out or released from your system. By acknowledging the intensity of your feelings, reframing them as part of a transformative process, and offering yourself compassion, you position yourself to enter the next chapter of your life unburdened. Just as the earth transforms through cycles of shedding and renewal, so too do you shed what's old to embrace what's new, aligning more fully with the person you're becoming. So, with that, my friends, let's just take a final calming breath. Nice inhale, bringing in and envisioning fresh possibilities. And then exhale, releasing any lingering tension or heaviness. And let's do it one more time. And then let's just take one moment to just integrate any new energies and allowing a shift for the highest good. And then take another deep breath. Okay, and then release. So, my friends, let yourself carry this understanding with you as you move through December's energy, trusting that each emotional wave you honor and release does make way for a more authentic, light filled path ahead. And just know, too, your journey matters, my friends, and let yourself honor it. Honor also the collective awakening as well. You are an individual and a collective experience. I mean, how amazing is that, my friends? I mean, how truly, truly amazing is that? And then before we go, we always want to break the link. So let us break the link. Say this after me if it resonates with you. I asked to break the links with this mindfulness chat. I asked to break the Reiki links, leaving only harmony and balance at either ends. I also asked to clear any residual energies being held in my body as a result of these links. I ask that light fill all the void cells, rejuvenates, refreshes, revitalizes for the highest good with ease and grace and gratitude. In gratitude, my friends. And so, with that, my friends, much, much love. And I wish you a beautiful week, a week of reflection, alignment, deep connection. We are preparing, if you're listening to this, the week of December 16th through the 23rd. On December 21st, we do have the solstice. And so we are preparing for that. Is the energy of new beginnings. So that is it for now, my friends. Until soon, much, much love and stay inspired.